Samsung unleashed the new Galaxy A series of smartphones to the world recently, starting with the Galaxy A53 5G. Many people anticipated for this smartphone, and after spending some time testing this phone, here is our full in-depth review of the new Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. Let's start off by talking about the color of this phone first. So as you know, the Galaxy A series, the new one, still has the same awesome blue color, at least the same name as the last year's Galaxy A series, but now it looks very pale in comparison. It's like someone took the awesome blue from last year and bleached it. But honestly speaking, if I don't have last year's awesome blue color to compare it, I think that this new awesome blue, even though it's a bit paler, it still looks good. But one good improvement though is that this new back material here is much more smoother compared to last year. One thing that I really like is how the camera bump is now smoothened out into some kind of slope. It gradually rises from the back plate here into the camera lenses in terms of its height, and I think it just looks very clean even though it's quite a subtle change. And of course, speaking of the cameras, the Galaxy A53 has a total of 4 different cameras, but I'll still consider only 2 of them to be usable. The setup is similar to last year's Galaxy A52 as it still has the main camera, ultra-wide-angle camera, and also a depth sensor and also another fixed focus macro camera. The last 2 cameras are pretty pointless though. That aside, the picture quality coming out of this phone is looking really good as well. Though even during an extremely sunny day, the exposure is a little bit too bright for my personal liking, but the HDR is fantastic and it still manages to retain a lot of the contrast in HDR as well. The white balance of both the main and ultra-wide angle cameras are consistent as well, which is something that I truly appreciate. Overall, the both main and ultra-wide angle cameras take really good pictures. In terms of the screen though, it kinda got an upgrade from last year's Galaxy A52. It now uses a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED screen with a resolution of 2400 by 1080 pixels, and it can go up to a maximum refresh rate of 120Hz. And as mentioned in our Galaxy A series introductory video, the new Galaxy A53 5G has the smallest selfie camera cutout compared to the Galaxy A33 and the Galaxy A73. I don't know why there's such a big discrepancy, but whatever. And just for fun, I also tested out the color accuracy of the new Galaxy A53 5G too. It has an average maximum brightness of about 400 nits, which is good enough for outdoor usage with indirect sunlight. And then we turned the brightness back down to 100 nits of brightness to test out the color accuracy. And without a doubt, the Samsung Galaxy A53 5G covers 100% of sRGB and 98.75% of DCI-P3 color gamuts. Even the Delta E number is very low as well, which is good, so good job there Samsung. We should also mention that there is no pre-installed screen protector on this phone out of the box, so you need to be careful with it when you unbox it. And in terms of the performance, I'd say that this is pretty much a work in progress. The Exynos 1280 chipset in this phone is fantastic for day-to-day use, but the gaming performance is another story. When we got the phone, we immediately did our initial gaming test, and the performance, it was abysmal. It was horrendously stuttery and laggy, and I was rather disappointed at the time. But then 2 days later, Samsung pushed out yet another update for the Galaxy A53 5G, and it now has the option to enable the alternate game performance management option in the game launcher menu. And then we did a follow-up gaming test, and I am pleased to say that Samsung managed to improve the gaming performance while even lowering the temperature as well. This is a clear sign of optimization, but I think Samsung can still push this chipset even further. Currently, I'd say that the Exynos 1280 is better than the Snapdragon 720G, but it's definitely not at the level of the Snapdragon 778G quite yet. How about the battery life then? We actually had to redo this test because the aforementioned update earlier really changed how this phone will perform. And I have to say that the Exynos 1280 is rather great in terms of battery life. So we tuned the brightness back down to 100 nits of brightness and lock it down at that brightness, and that 5000 mAh battery got more than 12 hours out of that test, which is actually really good. And oh, by the way, I should also mention that there's no charger included in the box. That is why This Galaxy A53 5G's box is so slim. Anyway, for the charging speed, Samsung maintained the maximum of 25 watts of wired fast charging on the Galaxy A53 5G, and it charged from 15 to 100% in about 77 minutes. It's definitely not the fastest in terms of fast charging, and I'm okay with that. And this phone is currently using the latest version of Android 12 with One UI 4.1, so you can pretty much expect a similar level of user experience and features available as the Samsung Galaxy S22 series of flagship smartphones. I won't go much in terms of software here because we've talked about it in our previous reviews that you can check it out at the top right corner there. In short, One UI good and I use it every day. By the way, the Galaxy A53 5G also gets 4 generations of Android upgrades and also 5 years of security updates, which I think is really great. And here are a few more things that I need to mention about the Galaxy A53 5G when compared to the Galaxy A52 from last year. These are just something that I realized and I quickly want to go through them. So the new Galaxy A53 5G does have a microSD card slot. It doesn't have an audio jack, and there is also no charger included in the box. There's also no pre-applied screen protector on the phone screen too, so again, you need to be careful once you've unboxed this phone. But we still have IP67 ratings, so that's fantastic. At the end of the day, the Galaxy A53 5G is still a solid phone to get today. It's a great all-rounder mid-range smartphone that has good performance for day-to-day use and some gaming on the side, good battery life, excellent software and excellent software support as well. But the price though is something that I'm still rather salty about because of the extremely high price hike over the previous generation Galaxy A52. At the price of 1,849 ringgit, I just think that it's rather steep. If you have that kind of budget to spend on a smartphone like this, then go on ahead. The Galaxy A53 5G is a solid phone overall. However, if you're looking for an even better deal, then maybe take a look at last year's Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. It doesn't have that extensive software support, but you can get it for less than 1,500 ringgit through retailers right now. That is a much better deal in my opinion. And so that's it. That's all we have to share with you about the new Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. Still a fantastic phone, it's just the price hike that it's kind of So yeah, if you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.